soon as we're live, I'll be quiet.
Hey, we're broadcasting live, folks. How you doing? Welcome to the wonderful city of Holly. Here we are, the city of Holly. Thank you, folks. That's right. It's Mark Sweetman who's doing musical accompaniment. Very good. We got people in front of us. All right. Thank you very much, Mark. I think you're fighting the natives, Mark. I think you're fighting the natives. We're good. We're good, Mark. We're fighting the natives. So, hey, Mark, how you doing? I'm going to take a little move here. I'm in a location. I want to show you this wonderful location. We're going to get you all the way to Mark, who's going to take it right over here and show you what we're at.
Have I been introduced?
Historic Holly Hotel.
And it didn't go the way I planned it.
Oh, cool. The Holly Hotel.
Historic Holly Hotel.
The historic Holly Hotel.
Cavity there.
It's haunted.
I'm going to show you what's going on.
In a good way.
They say it's haunted.
Is it haunted?
They say so.
Yeah. People say it's haunted. But I don't know. Anyway, now I'm going to have to.
Actually, it's just one of the bus boys that takes your caviar. They blame
this is what I'll do. I'm going to sit inside here. I think I can do that.
Oh, they're going to let you in there?
Well, nobody's here, actually, I don't think.
Remember when they canceled the second show but forgot to tell the comics?
Yeah.
No comedy show, man. Well, you get the background.
Right. What are you going to see at the audience?
Just get a little in the background, at least.
Is that the ghost?
What are you moving garbage cans around there? What's up?
That's the chairs.
Oh.
The chairs are all metal.
Metal chairs. Okay. Oh, wow. Old metal.
They're very solid.
They're very rustic.
We're very heavy man. That's very good. For a man who's pretty heavy, that's good.
All right.
So this is also known as Battle Alley. This is where, what's her name? Came to break up kegs back during the Prohibition.
Oh, the Carrie Nation. Carrie Nation. Yeah. Okay.
Carrie Nation. You know, it may be rained out here.
Oh, that'll be good. That'll be good.
I think the
as long as we get to see you get zapped, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that Elmer Fudd cartoon character zapping. You know,
that's right. Sitting on metal chairs with a metal table and a metal pole. That's not going to attract anybody.
That is you will do anything for a great live remote.
Yes, folks. There's a possibility I could just go up in flames. Sign in. See what time it might happen. There you go.
Please join us. Please join us for Possible Disaster Monday nights at 8.
Monday nights at 8. That's it. Andrew is like the impossible disaster guy. You know, he's made poor decisions before. He's made an even poorer one now. Okay.
There we go. Well, Andy, my bride is here, and she's got our poem that we always use as our agenda. So I'm going to give her my seat, and I'll be back here in a second. Here's Susan with this week's poem.
All right.
I don't know if you always use it, but it's a loose outline for your agenda. Okay, this week's poem for June 13th. Around the world or in your backyard, writing newsworthy rhymes, be on your guard. Tony Awards happened, and there's still a war. PGA kicks out golfers as if to settle a score. Mo Donegal won the Belmont Stakes. Toronto paddleboarder is crossing all 5 Great Lakes. Congress's primetime ratings were very high. Trump detached from reality, Bill Barr said with a sigh. Reporters Dom Phillips and Bruno Pereira are missing. Both men threatened for indigenous support and they're dissing. Brazil found 2 bodies in the jungle of the Amazon. Then police changed the stories. No bodies, they're gone. Baby formula shortages continue to be very dire. Flagstaff, Arizona, watching a bad wildfire. Fuel prices outrageous. protests from the rabble, and COVID testing stopped for international travel.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you, Susan. Again,
I am put to shame for my rhyming.
A wrap up.
I'll try to rhyme Dollar Tree. You know, that's all I got. You know.
Holler ye.
Dollar
Tree, holler ye.
In land of the free.
I went to the Dollar Tree. I went to shop at the Dollar Tree. Everyone goes to the Dollar Tree. It's there. It's almost free. There we go.
Yeah. Well, they're $1.25 now. They raised all their prices.
Damn it.
So now I call it the 10-bit store.
The 10-bit store. Well,
25 cents is 2 bits, then $1.25 is 10 bits.
Well, it's going to be 10 below soon. I mean, instead of 5 below, it's going to be 10 below soon. So
Dollar Tree, now 10 bits. Golly gee.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that E sounds. Those are good.
All right. We got our full aging white man squad here tonight. So let's bring them out here.
I'm in a perfect place for the aging white man. I live right here in Holly. You know.
Oh, you're right. You're in aging white man central.
Yeah,
Holly, Michigan. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So let's get Sam out here. Here's Sam Greenfield, ladies and gentlemen.
What we're saying, okay?
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you, Sam. You sound good. That's always good.
Nice to be here. I found out today that my kidneys are in bad shape.
Oh, no.
So what happened, so I said to the doctor, I said, well, what can we do about that? And he said, well, the good news is it's not a tumor. There's no tumor on them. He said, but you are taking water pills. So we're going to cut that down to, instead of one every day, one every other day. And the other thing is you take something called naproxen. And this always gives you comfort. I said to him, what's naproxen for? He goes, I don't know.
Oh,
wow.
But I don't have to take, no, it's actually a blood thinner, but I don't have to take it anymore. So he said, and he also said, my oncologist said, I'm so lucky I had these great doctors. My oncologist said, naproxen can lead to can hurt your kidneys. So you're going to stop taking that. So you're going to stop taking that. You're going to cut down on the water pills. You're going to continue to hydrate at 8 glasses of water a day.
Okay.
And he said, and you'll be okay. But when the what do you call it? What do you call the heart doctor? The
cardiologist.
Thank you. When I said to him, he's the one who talked about my kidneys. I said, is it real bad? He said, it's not great.
Oh, God,
he said, it's not great. Good. He said, but it'll get better because, you're going to do the things we tell you to do. You're going to hydrate. You're going to not take the naproxen, and you're going to, reduce the water pills. I said, okay. I said, look, I know what my life is like. I don't have that much to live for. So, whatever you guys decide. And he goes, and then all of a sudden, somebody, he put a towel over my head and started hitting me with a hammer. And I said, we don't have to rush it, bitch. By the way, there is nothing funnier to me. And I love this. I saw the hearings on last week, right?
All right, hold on, Sam.
Yes.
Before we get into that type of stuff, let's get Jason out here. Let's see how his
Jason, hi.
We'll see how his week's been. Then we'll get into the topical stuff we can all talk about because I want Jason's opinion in here too. Anyway, you know him, you love him. He's our man. He's our man with bodies in the trunk from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Here he is, Jason Grant. Everybody,
hey,
am I doing
there
this
he
right?
is.
There he is.
Where'd he go?
Did I see what?
Gone now.
Try again.
You know what?
I am. There you go.
Oh, there we go. I got
Hey,
him. Okay.
Jason.
All right.
Hey, there you go. I'm in the Pol Pot Monkeypox Rehab Center outside of Phnom Penh. Enjoyed Pride Month perhaps a little too much, but still grinder user of the month, and that's what's important to me, So how's it going, guys?
It's going.
Going.
It's going.
Let's get this show on the road.
All right, back to the hearings.
Well,
Yeah.
so this really, I got a big kick out of this. Last week, just after the hearings ended, Tucker Carlson went on Fox News and just crapped all over them. It's ridiculous. It's bullshit. That's why we're not showing it. Okay, it's a farce. Blah blah. Well, then Fox News, the folks at Fox News found out that 20 million people watched it,
including some of their viewers.
I'll tell you how many. You know what Fox News did, right? They ran Tucker Carlson without any commercials because they knew that if they went to commercials, people would turn him off and go to the hearings.
Okay.
So now Fox News is showing it.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't get enough of that. Why couldn't they just show it? It's almost like, well, we don't want to show it because just show it. It's bigger than it's bigger than right versus left. It just is. And the thing that's happening is now everybody who worked with Trump, except for Steve Bannon, who I think needs a year of rest. This guy. You tell those guys. You tell them. If Merrick Garland indicts Trump, we're going to impeach him. You can't impeach anyone, you douchebag. And he's one of the dwindling number of people who says, it's him and Mike Lindell ought to move in together because they both think that the election was rigged, and Trump is like, I don't know if you ever saw Bill Maher talk about Trump, but he said, when I first met him, this wasn't what he was like. He was nice.
Everybody says that. Remember Letterman used to have him on all the time.
Considerate people. He asked how you were doing. All that. They actually think he's he's in dementia.
Oh wow! But
by the way, have you ever seen a scarier face than Ivanka Trump at that interview?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Wow, she looked like She looked like a Keane painting.
Somebody said, "Oh, what was the description?" It was Ivanka Trump looked like a Cupid doll dressed up to be Dee Staley.
Oh my God, that's great.
From Twisted Sister.
But did you hear how she was talking? And I'm not saying this to gloat or dump on her. I feel bad for her. She actually looked like, and I'm not going to make a comparison to another, but like, she had this look like he lied to me. He absolutely lied. That's what she had. The look was. She looked like she was shattered.
Yeah.
Well, while you spend this much time on Trump, do you realize that DeSantis is solidifying?
DeSantis couldn't be happier.
Yeah, allocations of a great deal of resources for someone who might not necessarily be the guy you have to worry about. Shall we harken back to when Ed Muskie was the shoo-in to become the Democrat nominee? Didn't quite work that way.
How about when Hillary was the shoo-in to be the nominee back in 2008?
Yeah, I would say which time was that?
What was the guy's name from Vermont? The doctor.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Guy. Yeah.
Can I tell you something? I know someone who was there when he did that, and they said Howard. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's Howard Dean. That's all.
They said that when he did that Yahoo thing, they said it was much less subdued at the thing than it was on the air. And that, it was like, instead of sounding like he just had his nuts kicked. And let me tell you, so
here's where I believe, anyway, this is my own thought on this. And that is all this talk about stolen elections. We're already seeing it here in Michigan. It's starting to go back on the Republicans because you've got Republicans accusing other Republicans of stealing the election.
There's a lot of infighting now.
There's a lot of infighting as to who is the bigger stealer of this primary type of thing.
In Michigan, especially, we are the very epitomization of the Republicans as the stupid party. And so what you have is inbreds on one half and sort of the knuckle draggers rolling out of the trailer parks on the other half, trying to get control of the Republican Party. It's one of the reasons why I was so disappointed in Senator Stabenow's recent statements about how she has her new electric car and she was so happy to wave at the gas stations go by, because that woman had been one of the most adroit politicians to come out of Michigan since Martha Griffiths, and that's saying quite a lot. And it was a very inopportune, impolitic sort of thing to say. And right now, the Democrats are going to be facing something of an uphill climb. You don't need to make it any steeper than it already is.
Yeah,
no election.
They're kind of inching their way back. You don't need her to do that.
No, I mean, again, well, you never, again, we've got 5 months till the election, which is a political eternity. Anything could happen, up to and including Godzilla rising up out of the Huron River and rampaging down Main Street in Ann Arbor, which would actually be interesting. So, yeah, I mean, again, Republicans have an ability to nominate some of the worst people possible. Need I name any of them? I mean, you can remember Governor Engler. Do we want to relive that? I mean,
half of, those 8 people running for the Republican nomination for governor got cut in half by bad signatures.
Which, again, couple of things. First off, it goes to show a little that skullduggery that goes on. Oh, background noise there. And the fact of the matter is, that's amateur hour. Everyone knows that politics is a dirty business. If you aren't ready for these people to come here, are we allowed to use the F word here, Mark, or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. There's all kinds of rat fucking that goes on in politics. There's no surprise
you
there.
You can't say rat.
Oh, sorry. Right. Ask Thaddeus McCotter, because he had the same thing happen to him about 10 years ago.
He was my congressman.
Yeah, he'd had a fairly secure seat, and he got fucked over because he didn't have enough proper signatures on the petition.
No, they hire these companies, and these companies hire petition circulators. They get paid by the signature.
Yes.
So who's got the most incentive to screw over a politician by putting fake signatures? Not the politician, not the firm that they hired. It's the guy that gets paid 25 cents a signature,
and it's up
that starts making shit up.
That the people you have working for you know what their job is. I mean, there's a reason why Obama got to be president while still a freshman senator from Illinois, because he had a guy named David Axelrod who understood the nominating process going up against the Clinton machine. And it was a machine at that time, and a pretty fearsome one. I mean, Hillary had been elected to the Senate twice in her own right, had a great CV, and yet he snagged the nomination right out from underneath her.
You know what amazed me? I'll tell you what really amazed me. Do you know who was the person who told Obama you should run for president and put the bug in his ear?
Well,
Harry Reid.
Yeah,
Harry Reid. And I thought I know Harry Reid because I lived in Nevada.
Right.
And Harry Reid is one of the savviest, smart guys in all of the Senate.
Yeah.
And I keep wondering, what was it? I mean, Obama got elected twice, so he wasn't wrong, but
with comfortable margins.
Yes, both times. But I thought to myself, what did Reid see? This, as you said, he was a freshman senator.
What did anyone see in Bill Clinton in '92?
Bill Clinton had more of a national name because Bill Clinton had spoken at the Democratic convention. In fact, it was a joke because he went on so long.
As had Obama.
Obama spoke at the convention. That convention in 2004 was his introduction to everybody.
And there is within the Democrat Party a huge streak of cowardice. Howard Dean was bumped aside because he was actually kind of on the. I wouldn't call him a real left-wing radical, but he was more left-wing than most, and that man came from money. Dean Witter is the family he came out of. He might actually know what to do and how to do it, so they had to get rid of him, and instead they put in the powerhouse that was John F. Kerry. By the
way, I agree with you completely about the Democrats being cowards. Let me give you an example that no one talks about. At the Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump debate. Donald Trump was standing behind her, upstaging her. Now, if I was running for the presidency and he was doing that to me, I swear to God, I would turn around and go, "Could you move your fat ass a little away from me, please?"
Well, you're
blocking the sun. I would say whatever. They're all scared of it. They're all scared to say something.
Well, she, in her first campaign against whatever the New York Republican Party ran against her, he walked over and tried to intimidate her, and
that hurt him.
And
that hurt him.
She absolutely annihilated him right on stage. She literally, she figuratively cut his nuts off and threw him over her shoulder. And
that absolutely hurt him because he's a 6'1" guy,
right,
and she's 5'4", and he looked like he was going to deck her.
Exactly.
You know,
she called him on it right there at the time. I mean, again, she still is a very adroit politician.
Yeah, she is.
In my personal opinion, I'd rather have her in the White House right now than the present moldering, aging, flatulent marionette that's presently sitting in there.
Come on, speak your mind.
Exactly. At least I would respect her ability to hit the red button or not.
Give me those adjectives again, because I think I hear a musical in this.
I think I called him a aging, moldering, flatulent marionette.
An aging, moldering, flatulent marionette.
I'm just trying to figure out what red buttons has to do with this. Oh, red button. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love talking with old comics.
Oscar winner red buttons. Did you know that?
Absolutely.
And who else won that year? Miyoshi Umeki, who played his wife in Sayonara.
God, Sayonara. Wow.
Yes. Sayonara, Japanese goodbye. Whisper sayonara. Now you mustn't cry.
Not to say all the.
I have no life.
Are we going on to movies now? Are we going on to movies? I still haven't seen Maverick.
The one with Mel Gibson?
No. No, Top Gun Maverick. I still haven't.
I'm sorry. It's terrific.
I was thinking of Maverick, the porn company from the mid-1980s. You guys probably didn't consume their products as much as I did. I mean, or you might have just looked at them out of curiosity. I'm not judging. You know, you do what you got to do. It was a different time. But perhaps I've said too much.
But something eclipsed Top Gun this week. There was a new champion at the box office. It's
not Amber Heard.
No,
she's not done so good these days.
Who?
Something
Amber, Johnny Depp's wife.
I'm sorry. Say that again, please.
He said Amber Heard.
Johnny Depp's ex-wife.
Am I? You know, I got to tell you something. Of all the big Hollywood stories, and I love those stories, this absolutely has to be the one I have followed least.
It's boring.
Because, you're right. It's exactly right, Jason. And one of the reasons is, and I don't know if any of you agree, I don't care who won.
Exactly.
You know, this isn't like OJ, that he's guilty and you want to see him get his. And, I don't care. I do care that Johnny Depp looks like a guy who says, well, normally we don't hire hitmen who look like you, but okay. I mean, he just looks, it's funny. He played Whitey Bulger in Black Mass, and he was brilliant, by the way. But he looks scarier as himself than he did as Whitey Bulger.
Well,
Jurassic World Dominion overtook Top Gun Maverick. That's the film I'm thinking.
Oh, of course it did.
Oh,
and Doctor Strange. Now this is Doctor Strange, the Disney Marvel film.
I saw that.
Doctor Strange.
It was terrific.
They just announced that this coming Saturday, it's going to be on Disney Plus, their streaming service, and it's still number 3 in the box office.
The name of that movie should have been, yes, it's all green screen.
Are you saying Cumberbatch phoned it in, did it from a lounge chair? a green lounge chair.
He actually did it from the chair I'm in now.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't know if I told you this, but a mother comes downstairs and her 11-year-old son and her 5-year-old son are at the breakfast table. And she says to the 11-year-old, what would you like for breakfast?
Yeah.
You know this one?
I think every comic was required to know this joke on the circuit back in the 80s.
Then the hell with it. All right.
I sure as hell don't want. Is it that one? Is it the I sure what I don't want? Is that?
I'll tell you this. I don't want that fucking French toast.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the one.
Don't want goddamn cornflakes. Yeah.
What was the
What I
other
like
one?
about that one is that my now 24-year-old told it to me when he was like in the 5th grade, but it was so funny because he cleaned it up. So obviously it's iterations of that joke as it worked its way down to a grade schooler had been cleaned up.
Did you scold him for cleaning it up?
No, I laughed. I laughed. I wanted to encourage him. He's the one that's doing stand up now. So
Yeah.
Well, one day my daughter, she dropped an F-bomb, and she was certainly old enough to. And I was kidding her, and I said, "Man, you cuss a lot." And she goes, "Dad, I used to go to comedy clubs and watch your act."
Yeah, burn.
So that's like the thing where the father finds pot, and he goes, "Who taught you how to use this?" "You did, Dad. You did."
Yeah.
"No, I didn't, because that's the worst rolled joint I've ever seen in my life." "Are you kidding me? What are you, a cripple?"
At least buy a roller, son.
Yeah, please. It's
yeah.
okay if you've got arthritis, but Jesus Christ.
Well, my nephew texted me to let me know that I sent him the trailer to 5 Easy Pieces, and that was the movie he watched over the weekend, and he
nice
for it. And I then hipped him to the other one from that particular era, which Last Detail. Again,
that movie was heartbreaking.
And no green screen, and one of the best shot movies you'll ever see.
And that movie broke my heart.
Yep.
Ashby.
Oh man, it's so painful.
Ashby.
And now
it doesn't even look like acting. It's so good. It looks like
and now, what's his name? Randy Quaid.
Well,
he's breaking his psychiatrist's heart.
Well,
yeah.
How's he doing? Is he still in legal trouble?
Have you seen him?
No, I haven't.
Let me put it this way.
Is it bad news?
He's got Andy's beard, okay? But Andy is sane.
Okay.
Well,
wasn't he squatting at like a hotel in Beverly Hills or something like that with his wife? And then they escaped to Canada, or they were on the lam to Canada because somebody was after him.
I met Randy Quaid when he was married to his first wife, Emma.
Uh-huh.
And Emma was a kind, thoughtful, decent person. And I was sitting with another comic, and I said, she is the nicest person. And he goes, "Do you know Randy?" And I said, "I just met him." She goes, "He'll fuck it up." He'll fuck. You see, because he didn't know Emma, this guy I'm talking to, And he said, "Yeah, he'll fuck it up." Yeah, she's a kind, decent person. Yeah, he'll ruin it. Because the woman he's with now is like, a thug. She's the kind of, she goes to a diner and will walk on the check.
I tell you what, all it does is broaden the SNL alumni association.
Yeah.
Because you get people. It's unbelievable the breadth of the people that are alumni for SNL.
In what way?
Just you got one became senator. You got movie stars. You've got
one of the things about SNL is that he hires very, very bright people, but it doesn't always mean they're good people.
Right.
Bill Murray is a brilliant guy, but he's evidently a dick. Chevy Chase, he can't get work now, and he's a great performer.
Yeah, but he's the fucking Antichrist.
Well, he is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
It's a miracle to me he got cast in Community.
Although
they hated him.
You know what? Community, though, the things I've heard about Community would probably make for another one of those shows about the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Andy and I are watching the offer about the making of The Godfather. There's probably a show in the making of Community, because
you're probably right. The only problem with it is, and this is just my opinion, is the people on that show, with the exception of Chevy Chase, no one cares about. Even the guy who does Atlanta, but no one cares about them. There's no larger than life figure other than Chase.
Yeah.
Whereas with with the show about The Godfather. Well, first of all, you got Brando, you got Pacino, you got James Caan, you got Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, Jesus Christ! Talk about a galaxy of stars. There's nothing like that. In that they got, Robert Duvall.
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard James Caan is not doing well
Physically.
Physically, yeah.
Well, he's 82. He's 82.
Okay, but
does he have bad kidneys?
I don't know. I just one of the comics posted. They saw him at. Did you see that posting? They saw him at Junior's over on Pico. The diner over there on the west side.
Yeah,
and he was wheeled in a wheelchair. He's got the tube going into his nose.
Kathy Bates got hold of him again, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll be here all week. Thank you.
By the way, did you see the documentary on Queen Elizabeth?
Which one?
I've seen.
It's called Queen Elizabeth. Elizabeth, a Portrait.
Haven't seen that.
I had no idea what an expert. There's no joke coming. What an expert horsewoman she is. She was riding a horse bareback at a gallop. I mean, that's impressive to me beyond words.
Right.
Riding bareback at a gallop. If that had been me, it would have been like a cartoon, like whee, and off the horse.
Yeah.
Her daughter Anne, I think was eligible. I think almost got into the Olympics as a horsewoman.
And she routinely
she was in the Montreal Olympics.
Yeah.
She was in the Montreal Olympics. She was a contestant. She contested for Britain. Yeah. There was some controversy about that because a lot of people thought she might have gotten the last spot over somebody that may have been more qualified.
Something?
But the
if
Brits
your mother
didn't complain.
is the Queen of England, then you tell the guy the person she jacked out of it, tough titty. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
My mother's the queen. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Sorry. I mean, I know it's not fair, but you know what it reminds me of? It's like Tim Allen. Tim Allen will come into a comedy club and go, "Oh, are you on next?" That's too fucking bad because I'm going on and I'm doing an hour and you can blow me. And he says it. He has no shame.
I mean, as far as I know, isn't that the way it's always been on comedy clubs, though? If a star comes in,
the worst perpetrator is by far Dave Chappelle.
Really?
He will go on stage and do 3 hours. And by the way, I didn't say 3 great hours.
No, that's was it the day the comedy died with Andrew Dice Clay, which is recorded live at Dangerfield. It was 2 hours of him just riffing. And some of it's absolutely brilliant, and some of it's like, oh dear God, make it stop, make it stop.
There was an article in the Village Voice about Andrew Dice Clay, and the writer said he was in the bathroom, and 2 of Dice Clay's followers, said, "Who's this fucking Jew?" Not realizing that Dice Clay's real name is Andrew Silverstein.
Yeah,
right.
And so at the end of the article, Clay gets on stage and he's going to close out his show by playing the drums to a song he wrote called Brooklyn Bad Boy. And the audience started to leave. And the writer of this article wrote one of the best lines I've ever read. He said, they all started to leave, frankly, in droves. It was almost as if once he stopped doing the racist crap, they had no use for him.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great line. He's the reason I got an apartment in New York. I went to a realtor there, and I said, "Do you have any?" And this was at a time where you had to bribe a superintendent to get an apartment.
Key money, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A key. It was called a key fee. A joke.
Yeah.
And so the guy said, "We really don't have anything." I said, "All right." And I thought, well, okay, now I'm going to go to my 35th rental office. And he said, "What do you do for a living?" I go, "I'm a comedian." I said, "Oh," he said, "Do you know Andrew Dice Clay?" And I didn't. And I went, "Dice Man? Absolutely." And he goes, "That's my nephew." I said, Andy's your nephew? Wow, that's so cool. And he goes, come here. And he walks me over to this drawer. He pulls it open. He pulls out 7 apartment keys and goes, go take a look at these. The address is on each key and tell me what you like.
Wow.
So I felt like Princess Anne having bumped him. You see, nice callback, huh? But having bumped someone.
For the 4 years I was an MC at the Improv on Melrose, the people that could walk in and get a set without a spot were Robin Williams, Jerry Seinfeld, Gary Shandling, Roseanne Barr, Ellen DeGeneres.
What a lovely person.
She is, you know what? People talk about what a wit she is, but she was great back then when she was, 27 years old,
You mean she was nice?
She was nice, yeah. And Roseanne was she was she was a little bit edgy, but she would say stuff like, I earned this. In other words, I earned the ability to, if she heard anybody bitching about her getting
the thing about Roseanne was
she felt like she had earned that ability to, she had a TV show.
If she started to give you shit and you gave her shit back,
yep,
she backed off.
Yep.
She backed off.
Now when I was emceeing there and she was coming in for spots, that's the bad thing about it was, and I think the reason people complained was Tom Arnold also got a spot.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just threw up in my mouth.
What a horrible act. Oh my God.
I'll tell you how bad it is. I just threw up in Andy's mouth. That's how bad. Okay. Oh,
I'll throw it up back at you because
and Andy
I got to open for him.
Now Jason,
Jason,
I know Andy knows this. Tom Arnold, after he and Roseanne split up, he married Eric Champnella's sister.
Yeah.
No idea.
Do you know Eric, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
No, I don't. Okay. Do you know Eric Champnella, Sam?
Who?
Eric Champnella. He's a writer out in Hollywood, but he started in Ann Arbor, like a lot of us. But he's a writer out there in Ann Arbor. He's done a lot of those Disney films that you're only going to see on the Disney Channel.
The movie he's most known for is Eddie.
Yes, with
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
Whoopi Goldberg.
That's he wrote and directed that.
Yeah,
and he admits it.
He does.
Yes, he admits it. Hey, I tell you what, that set him up for a career. And even though he's done these, he basically does the Disney formula film where the good kid is on the bad soccer team and they have to play the team where the parents on the other side will do anything to cheat to get their team. The Disney formula. There's the
he also did Mr. 3000.
That's true, and he did one with.
That's one of my.
He also did one with Sinbad too.
Yeah,
didn't he do one?
Oh, I remember that. It was called The Apology.
For Disney, I think so.
Well, the question I had.
But anyway, Tom Arnold married Eric's sister.
Yeah.
Didn't last, but
are they still together?
That came to a close. No. That came to a screeching halt. No,
Andy, that's the quickest
Tom Arnold
I've ever heard in my life.
No,
Tom Arnold.
It was
Tom
like
Arnold
this. Are they still no? Oh, okay.
No.
I tell you what, I tell you what, I've got some Tom Arnolds in my daughter's lives, and they will not be getting married to the. I will do something to that person to make sure that Tom Arnold does not marry my daughter.
Mark, you don't have to do it. Call me, since and I'll take care of business. And you know what? I've been in jail. They have a dental plan. I like to butt fuck. So
wow, you're in like Flynn.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 hots and a cot. And I know how to write an appeal. Because I went from jail to prison to law school in that order. So I think,
you're made of solid
gold. Your very own Barry,
Absolutely. It in or out, it don't matter to me.
I saw Tom Arnold performing at Igby's, and Roseanne had asked 2, I don't know their names, but two pretty well-known writers, comedy writers, to write him jokes. Okay. It was like watching Fred Grandy do Shakespeare.
That's good. That's good.
I just hope somebody doesn't. I just hope somebody doesn't give Fred Grandy the link to this.
It's just listen. I got a great story for you. You got to hear this. I was working for Yoder, and I forget the other guy's name, but he was a really nice kid. And we're driving around, hanging out, and we go by this. Where's Grandy from?
He's in Iowa, from Ames, Iowa, or something like
Iowa. That's right. We were in Iowa.
Right.
And we walked into this political office, and it said Fred Grandy for Congress.
He ran for Congress. Yep.
Yeah.
And I said, "Wow!" And I picked up not a pamphlet, a folder that said Fred Grandy for Congress. So me and this kid, we walk back out to my car, and we get in the car, and this wasn't like a leaflet. This was a political briefing on how to beat Grandy's opponent. In other words, we didn't realize it, but we had stolen shit.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. And I'm going, I said, what was it? Bobby was his name. I said, I don't think we're supposed to have this. And at that second, a guy came out, stuck his hand through the window and said, "May I have that back, please?" And he said, who are you guys? I said, "We didn't know what we were taking." I'm sorry. He said, "Well, we're going to be calling the authorities, and, spare me." So when he said that, I did what my wife does when I say to her, "I'm going to do this." I did this. Oh. And so, but then I thought, if they call the authorities, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
I could get lynched. Yeah. And so I said to this kid, I said, "I hope we don't get in trouble." He said, "Well, you won't be in trouble. I'll be in trouble." I said, "Well, why will you be in trouble?" He said, "Because my mother is the co-chair of the Iowa Democratic Party." And I went,
so he shouldn't have had it.
And I said, "Oh yeah, you're fucked." Oh man, I'll bring you food. But nothing ever happened. You know the story about Sinbad when he was on a different world, what ruined his career?
Yeah, I think you've told that on the show before.
Yeah, you told us.
Oh, I did? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, though, Jay Leno. I've been seeing a lot of him on YouTube because I watch Jay Leno's Garage. Sometimes he seems like a nice guy. Other times he seems like a real prick bastard.
He was always nice to me.
He was always nice to me, too.
When I was working in Vegas on the radio, he came in, to do an interview, right?
Right.
Because he was performing at the MGM. And I said to him, by the way, you have no idea how many times I've asked somebody, "Could you do a spot for me, a real quick bumper, like, 'Hi, this is Joe Jones, and when I'm in Vegas, I like to listen to the Sam Greenfield show,' that kind of thing."
Right.
And so many of these guys, who, by the way, aren't within a light year of Leno's fame or credibility or anything, right, they go, "No, I'm not doing it." And I said to Leno, "Would you do this for me?" He said, yeah. Where's the mic? And he did three. He did three. You didn't have to do three, And he said, he was actually very funny. He did one and he said, "Okay, now, do you want me to do one with a Jewish accent or Polish?" And I said, "I would pay money if you did it with a Jewish accent." He said, "Yeah, so would I, but I don't know how." He said, "No one ever calls my bluff on that." And he goes, "You little bastard." No, but what he would do is he would do the Tonight Show, right? And then he would get in a car, fly out to Burbank Airport, right? Fly out to Vegas, get driven to the MGM Grand, do the shows there, come back to the airport. You know how close the airport is to the MGM Grand. It's like across the street.
Right.
And then go back to the airport, fly home. And at home, he met 2 or 3 of the writers from the Tonight Show, and they would work on the show till 1 a.m.
Wow.
Nice. Good work.
And I don't know if you know this, but he never spent any of the money from the Tonight Show. He lived off of his live earnings.
Yep, he lived off his live performance. Yeah.
And went into the cars because that's That's what.
Well, I mean, he's got to be richer than Roosevelt. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, if he never spent any of the Tonight Show money, he had to be making 25, 30 million a year.
At least as rich as Bob Hope was. I mean, I mean there was another guy. Yeah. Well, the other one that I've been also binge watching is the Jerry Lewis was a prick interviews.
He absolutely was a prick.
Nice man. I mean,
he cut his sons out of his will.
Yeah, his whole family, everybody. Yeah. I mean, he makes Bing Crosby look like Father of the Year as elected by his first batch of kids.
Did you ever see the Jerry Lewis on Jerry Seinfeld's driving with the comedians getting coffee?
I did. I did.
That sounds horrifying.
No, he was very gracious.
He was very great. It was a two-part. He made it a two-parter. He was
fine. He was also let's be honest, near the end, literally.
He was near the end. And he looked like it. And he looked like it too. He looked like
by the way, one of the greatest jokes that Letterman ever told was, he said, I don't know if you folks know this, but Jerry Lewis has received an award from the government of France for being a comic genius. And I love when he does this. A comic genius. I said it, a comic genius. Now, before you're shocked by that, please remember that the Swiss have the same high regard for Gavin MacLeod. I thought that was like, when he said it, I went, that's genius. That is fucking genius. Oh my God. The Swiss and Gavin MacLeod. Oh my God. By the way, have you ever seen somebody do something? I'm sure you have, in when they're doing like a TV show and it makes your skin crawl?
Yes.
Okay, try this. Gavin MacLeod's playing Captain Steubing.
Yeah.
And Michelle Lee is playing a woman who pretends to be like a very wealthy woman, okay? When in fact her husband had died, left her some money, and she was going to use that money to go on this boat.
Right.
But she was a fraud, but she was just trying to have a good time. So Steubing takes her back to the captain's quarters. and he's sitting next to her, and I almost can't say this line because I dig my nails into my palm. But he looks at her and he goes, "May the captain kiss the lady?" I can't even look at the screen you guys are on now. That's how horrible that was. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wouldn't it be great if she said, "Well, you can kiss my ass. You can do that." And he goes, "Oh God, I was hoping you'd say that." By the way, the greatest miscasting of all time, was on that show. Gopher, played by Fred Grandy.
Yes.
Right. Is waiting for his parents to get on the boat. Do you know who played his parents?
Mark Leonard and no, hold on, that was somebody else.
No. Linda Lovelace and Ishka Bibble. No. You ready? Get ready.
I'm ready.
Bob Cummings and Ethel Merman.
I love it. Best disco album ever. Ethel Merman's disco album.
Oh my God.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's a great casting.
And by the way, Bob Cummings at the time was, I don't know, 118.
Yeah.
And
was this sort of the Andy Warhol directed episode? Is this taking over the show?
I think you're right, because Bob was masturbating while he was doing the show.
Yeah. That would be about right. But
he's more Andy Hardy.
He was so old, and they had to put so much makeup on him. He looked like waxed fruit. And
my grinder name.
Waxed fruit. Okay.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's a great name.
Yeah, it is.
Never give it up, son. Never give it up.
I got that.
That's a good introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, wax fruit. There you go.
Wax fruit, yeah. I've already been called the fruit, so I mean, yeah, wax fruit's even better.
Actually, wax fruit could have two meanings. One is a piece of wax fruit, and the other is somebody who is a gay basher.
Yeah. I'd be guilty of both. Point,
Well, you're a man's man, and you know it.
Well, I'd like to think so. Or or at least someone who says they're over 18. That's good enough for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Louis Anderson.
Yeah, very funny.
Well, at least I've seen my penis. That's something that Louis wasn't able to say.
Hello, hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Amorose. I swear to God, I was just teaching him how to float.
Jason, we need to get you
I know.
back out in front of audiences. You're hilarious.
I know. I mean, last Sunday, I made a total of $90, and that was not including what I was doing for Uber.
Wow,
So, yeah,
who do you know?
Well, I don't use real names, and frankly, no one should.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, no, it's time to get back up there. I've been working on some new material. Seriously, I've been running some guys to the airport where I test drive this shit, and I've been doing really well. And I don't know, some of it's a little bit too bitter and too angry, but so am I. And I've been working on like torching these U of M business school, law school drones who think they're going off to change the world. And you're nothing but a 6-figure bureaucrat. I mean, and trying to translate that though into something has been difficult, but I'm pretty close. I think I've got it.
I don't know why. I can't figure out why I have lost the will to perform. I just, there's a couple of comics here goes, there's spots open. You could get them. I mean, people know you. I go, I just don't want to do it. I came home from a gig about 10 years ago, and it was a nice gig too. It was private party, good money. The audience was nice. Took me back and forth by limo. Couldn't beat it. And I came home and my wife said, "How did it go?" And I said, "It went well." She goes, I said, "I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know what it is. It wasn't, nothing happened that embittered me or, I hate this. I just don't. I don't know why.
To be fair,
you know what? Barry Sanders had about 3 years left in him, and he just got sick of playing football. So it happens to everybody,
I've never gotten sick of playing football.
Well,
oh no.
Hey, hold on, guys. I have some new technology I was playing with here today, and Philip Baker Hall passed away yesterday.
Yeah, 91 years old.
91 years old. Do you know who that is, Andy or Jason?
No.
Yeah,
he played the guy who was pushing young amateur porn stars in Boogie Nights.
He also played Everett Dirksen in the movie about LBJ, Path to War, and did a fantastic job. I mean,
he also played one of the big bosses on the Truman Show.
Yep,
I got a clip.
One of those
I got a clip.
Yep,
I got a clip. I got a clip of my favorite character that he played, and I'm going to see if I can put it on here, and then we can discuss it afterwards. Let me see if I get this right. Come on, baby.
Oh yes.
Are we doing it? Is it happening?
Is this the one where he kidnaps that kid Luke on Modern Family?
Do we see anything?
I like when he made his statement of values in Boogie Nights, and
yeah, I'm a simple man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Butter in my ass.
Butter in my ass.
That's just the best line was after that. That's just me.
Buy a guitar full of prescriptions, put it in the cupboard, you forget about it. And later on,
I see something.
It's there, it lasts forever.
I see Seinfeld.
Really, I have to remember that.
Are we seeing it?
Yes, we are.
I guess I hit the wrong button.
I see Seinfeld.
I see dead people.
What did I do? No, what did I do? That's the clip I'm.
God, he looks so young.
Here we go. Let's try it. Let's give it a go.
So we can get the sauce straightened out. Would you like a cup of tea? You got any coffee? Coffee? Yeah, coffee. So we can get the sauce straightened out. Would you like a cup of tea? You got any coffee? Coffee? Yeah, coffee.
Yeah, Bookman.
They fuck it up.
The library guy. The library
man,
police.
look how young he is.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'll tell you one thing, buddy. There's young people out there who try to get those books, and those books are my responsibility.
Well, this is over 30 years ago, so he would be like probably in his late 50s.
60 something.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, do I have to control this from
really
you?
good actor.
I can't control it from here. I guess I got to control it from YouTube. Let me go.
Wasn't he? He was also in Magnolia, wasn't he?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did some work for PTA a couple times.
He played the quiz master.
The quiz master, Magnolia.
Yeah. You don't drink coffee? How about instant coffee? No, I don't. You don't have any instant coffee? Well, I don't know. I don't. Who doesn't have instant coffee? I don't. You buy a jar of Folgers crystals, you put it in a cupboard, you forget about it.
Not getting it.
Yeah, it's just freezing up, sadly.
Yeah.
Now, the thing was, the man knew how to chew up scenery.
All right, I suck at this.
I made it wrong when you needed it. It's there. It lasts forever. It's freeze dried. Freeze dried crystals. Really, I have to remember that. You took this book out in 1971.
I'll be right back. I have to go get rid of 8 glasses of water.
First year on the job. Bad year for libraries. Bad year for America. Hippies burning library cards. Abby Hoffman telling everybody to steal books. I don't judge a man by the length of his hair, the kind of music he listens to. Rock was never for my bag. But you put on a pair of shoes and you walk into the New York Public Library, fella. Mr. Bookman.
Bookman.
I returned that book. I remember it very specifically. You're a comedian. You make people laugh. I try. You think it's all a big joke, don't you? No, I don't. I saw you on TV once. I remembered your name from my list. I looked. Not the little stamp, the one that says New York Public Library. Well, that may not mean anything to you, but that means a lot to me. One whole. Did I? Sure enough.
Uh-oh.
Out.
Did it go out on you guys?
You're a celebrity.
No, still it's slow motion, stopping and starting.
That somehow the law doesn't.
Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you, but
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Well, it was a nice attempt, Mark. I guess we just can't do that stuff.
Library. Well, that may not mean anything to you, but that means a lot to me. One whole.
Now you're in slow motion, Mark.
Willing to bet it's a bandwidth issue, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's possible. We're in and out. It looks like you hit it multiple times, and it's running 2 or 3 on top of each other.
Oh, is it? All right, I'm gonna take it down then. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that video and trying to do 2 videos on the same one. I can't get rid of it.
What do you know about hard feelings? Ever kill somebody?
So I'm out now.
I'm not.
Can I see? No, are you guys still coming in? Well, I probably froze you guys getting rid of that. All right, we're good. Sorry about that. I'll have to get better technology before I do that again.
So I didn't miss shit. Is that what you're saying?
You didn't miss a goddamn thing.
You know, that's a famous story about John F. Kennedy. He was campaigning in West Virginia when West Virginia had an important primary.
Uh-huh.
And the coal miners are coming out of the coal mine, and he's shaking their hands, you know. And one of the coal miners, who defined the word grizzled, said to Kennedy, said, "Let me ask you something. Have you ever had to work one goddamn day in your life?" And all his aides are like shitting themselves, like, "Oh my God, what's he going to?" And he held his hand up to them. He said, "It's okay." He said, "No, I've never had to work ever." And the guy said, "Brother, you ain't missed shit."
Uh,
He said, and then Kennedy said, "I'd like to talk longer, but I'm due back in New York. I have to bang Marilyn Monroe." He said, "Well, good luck to you."
Well, lucky on that.
You know the story about Marilyn Monroe and Joey Bishop?
No.
Joey Bishop is performing in Vegas, and Marilyn Monroe comes in, and you can only imagine how the focus left Joey Bishop for her. All right. And she comes in, and people are literally going, "Oh." And she sits down in the front row. "Thank you very much." And Joey Bishop looks at her and says, "I thought I told you to wait in the car."
Oh, classic.
Genius.
That's right up there.
Brilliant.
Sinatra after you ask him to come over. That's amazing.
What, the one with Shecky Green?
No, the Don Rickles story where he asked Sinatra to come over in the middle of dinner and
that's great.
Yeah, I'm on a date here. Come on, you know. And,
Frank, I'm eating.
Yeah,
Frank,
she was.
Yeah, that
That's
girl
a great
became his
story.
wife.
Oh yeah. No, in
that's
fact,
funny.
I've been watching a lot of Rickles' performances on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and the two of them together. That to think this was late night comedy, and it was. I mean, it was just amazing to see these two guys riffing off each other. Not trying to.
It was like watching jazz.
It was. Yeah. They. Carson was one of the best straight men ever.
He was so generous in that way, by the way.
Yes, he was.
He had no ego about being the straight man.
No,
Nope.
and it worked like a charm. And he was damn.
You know
good
what? Though it does make sense because he had his 6 minutes up front.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And he was the king of biting it on a joke.
No one died better than Carson.
Nobody died.
He knew how to
go into a tap dance.
Oh, it was the best.
Oh man, he made me laugh more when he died than the jokes.
Oh, it was great because then it would always happen. He'd do a line about dying. Ed McMahon would get struck, and he'd be laughing so loud that Carson would look over and go, "Oh, you like your job?" You know, it was just, and he would say something to the band, and it was, oh man, it was. I had been to the tapings to the Tonight Show about a half a dozen times, but I never got to see him bomb on a joke.
By the way, speaking about Leno being a nice guy, I have a cousin who is a film editor. She was Emmy nominated for The War in the Pacific. She was the showrunner for Man in the High Castle.
Oh, cool!
Wow!
Wow. And her mother and father came out to L.A. and she also edited Collision Course with Leno and Pat Morita.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was filmed in Detroit.
Wow! And Leno, he said to her, "Listen, let me know when your parents come out here. I'll give them a seat." And she thought, it's very nice. She didn't say this to him, but she was thinking, he's not really going to do that. He's saying he met them at the door. He walked out of the Tonight Show theater, met them at the door, my uncle and aunt, took them down to their seats in the front row and said, "Anything you want, let me know."
Wow.
And then this is the funny part. He says, "Anything you want, you let me know." And he said to some assistant, "Get rid of him at the break." And he was kidding. I mean, but she said he could not have been more gracious.
Do you remember the thing he did with Mickey Rooney?
No.
It was his last week of the Tonight Show.
Before Conan came on?
No, the second time when he went back, and then he's going off for Jimmy Fallon. Okay. And Mickey Rooney was very near the end. And so Mickey Rooney did not want to appear on the show because he didn't look that healthy. So what Jay did was he said, when he came in, he says, I'll put you in the front row and you don't have to come on stage, because he was worried about moving around and everything, because he would have to be in a wheelchair and brought up there and stuff like that. And so he says, I'll put you in the first row and then I'll talk to you. And so Mickey Rooney's thinking, well, he'll just talk to me like before the show or during commercial breaks or something like that. And I'll get to see the Tonight Show set one more time. Well, the makeup people come out and they start putting makeup on him. He goes, oh, I'm not on the show. I'm just here to see Jay. And they said, no, Jay sent us out here. So anyway, he ends up interviewing him in the front row seat, because that way Mickey Rooney would not have to get up or be wheeled out or anything.
Wow, that's nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Yes.
And it was.
But like I said, he did 3 bumpers for me. I'm not surprised he did that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's surprising how many people won't do it.
Well, I was just curious. Obviously, I've never met the man. I can only judge him by the stuff that I've seen. But, and also, as you get older, you can get a little grumpy, and sometimes that's going to come through. You spend as much time in front of a camera. And Jay's got to be in his, 70s now?
He's probably 71.
Yeah, and he's talking about the cars, and that's different from doing his comedy. The cars are his real passion.
Have you seen that garage?
Yes, I want to go there.
Holy crap!
Yeah. I mean, that's
$10 million worth of cars
easily. Yeah. Oh, that would be in 4 or 5 cars. I mean,
I think you're right. I think you're right.
He has one of the preeminent collections in the world. Other than that, there's that other museum out there. I think it's on Wilshire. You guys would know. You've been out there. It's one of the preeminent car collections on planet Earth.
The Eli Broad collection, is it?
I'm not sure. Oh God, they've got everything there, and they routinely will come over to Jay Leno's garage and show off one of their vehicles and let him actually drive it. Like one they had Steve McQueen's old Jaguar, which is worth easily $10 million at auction, if not more.
Wow.
Both Jerry Seinfeld and Tim Allen both have extensive garages.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld has an apartment building on the Upper West Side next to his apartment building.
Nice.
Okay, and that entire apartment building is his cars.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an apartment. I don't mean apartment building. You know what I mean? It's
parking deck. Parking
garage.
Yeah. And it's all his cars.
Huh.
Well, he's the one who does the
comedy
car show, the thing with.
Yeah, he does, but those aren't all his cars. He gets a lot of those.
No, not at all. My favorite of those interviews, easily, is the one with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, that was good. I like the one with Robert Klein. I thought that was a good one.
I like Klein. I also like the one with Alec Baldwin.
He did a couple of
Baldwins are good. Both Baldwins are good. The first one and the second one.
Yeah.
When they went to his hometown, they both came from the same hometown. It was fantastic.
Massapequa.
That's
where my wife is from.
Yeah, he kind of talks about his wife sitting next to him, and as he's watching the Vietnam stuff that what's his name is doing. It's like there's play cool with this stuff, the sound of this, and my wife's next to me going every time she hears the gunfire. She's reacting to it. I'm just rambling away. It was a great piece.
His mother was a teacher at the local high school.
Mm-hmm.
Baldwin.
Yep.
Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger came to Stand Up New York, and I was on stage, and I'm having a great set, and she's laughing her head off, and he was laughing, but not like her. So after my set is over, I'm sitting at the bar and I'm doing a crossword puzzle, and I smell this great perfume, and there's a hand on my shoulder, and I look over and it's Kim Basinger. She goes, "You were very, very funny. You made my night." And a friend of mine said, "So what'd you say?" I said, "Well, what would you say?" I said, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, first of all, she's pretty. She's 5 times prettier in person.
Wow.
I mean, just like, if I had any balls, I would have said to her, "What are you doing with him? Come on."
She's a few years older than he is, too.
Does he make you laugh? Well, that's like that great line from the Ocean's 11 with George Clooney when he's talking about Andy Garcia.
Uh-huh.
You know, she what's her name? Julia. What's her name? The woman who played his girlfriend on Ocean's 11. Erin Brockovich. What the fuck?
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. And he says to her, "Does he make you laugh?" About Andy Garcia. And she goes, "He doesn't make me cry." That's a great line.
Yeah, well.
It's amazing. I thought that movie was so much better than the original Ocean's 11.
Oh, the second one, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite line in that movie is when Elliot Gould is talking about Andy Garcia being so vicious. And he goes, "You want to know how vicious he is? He'll kill you. Then he'll go to work on you."
Well, he was married to Barbara Streisand. He'd know vicious. I mean,
No,
hell.
you know something? Of all the marriages I can't figure out, that might be number one.
What, the Streisand Gould relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so somebody said to me, "Well, yeah, but what about Streisand and James Brolin?" And I said, he must be hung like French bread. Are you kidding me?
he was a couple notches up from the Larry Fortunsky Taylor.
Oh my God. I can't.
I mean,
Oh my God. That name makes the worst haircut on any male ever. You know, his haircut looks like what doctors say to someone's family after they lose their loved one. We did all we could.
They met at the rehab center, right? They met at the rehab center.
Yeah.
Well, that's how that happened.
There's an interview for you. So who got drunk first?
Yeah.
Should have seen the stud Betty Ford had.
Oh, all right. I know I haven't told you this joke, and I'm dying to tell you. May I?
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. So this guy, his name is Goldstein, and he started off as a small little hardware store owner, and he built it up into an empire, and it's called Goldstein's Nails. And he's 70 now, so he's leaving it to his son. And he says, "I want you to come in and learn the business." Okay, there's a lot of detail work in this. So he comes into the Goldstein Nails building. Okay, that's how rich he is. And between the elevators is a crucifix. And underneath it is a sign that says, "Uses Goldstein's Nails." And the father flips out. He grabs his son. He smacks him. He goes, "Are you out of your goddamn mind? Do you know that most of our customers are Gentile and you're insulting their Lord? Are you nuts? You take that shit down now. I mean now, or I'm cutting you out of the will." He goes, "I'm sorry, Pop. I'm really sorry." So the next day, Mr. Goldstein comes in, and between the elevators is a crucifix on its side with a sign that says, "Should have used."
Yeah. Boy, that's right up there. If Teddy had just been driving a VW.
Hey, I heard a good dad joke this weekend.
Please.
Guy says, "I was at a garage sale and they had this flat screen TV. The thing's 50 inches and they had a sign on it that says $5. I said, $5? What's wrong with it? They said, "Well, you can't turn it down. Its volume's stuck on highest setting." He goes, "Well, I can't turn that down."
Oh.
I said dad joke.
Oh wow.
That hurt the two bearded men there.
Oh, well, you know.
Or as we refer to them, the House of David comedy team.
Well, you know, like
the Ludens Cough Drops comedy tour.
Oh my God!
Who are the guys that had the beard? The Smith brothers. Right?
The Smith brothers.
Yeah,
there we go.
And I can also dress in black and blend in with our friends walking home on a Friday night, so that comes in handy too.
You know, there are jokes that make me laugh, and I feel that sometimes I'm the only person who gets them.
Yeah.
He just reminded me of it. He said, I said that I was what the guy say? He said, you know, when I was a kid, I used to take Luden's cough drops and Smith Brothers cough drops. And one day I said to my father, were there really Smith Brothers? He said, yeah, they were Smith Brothers. They were together for 10 years, and then they stopped working together. And I said, why? He goes, creative differences. That just kills me.
I like that.
It's fucking cough drops.
Yeah.
Creative differences. No, I want the ones that are red. Oh, by the way, what was your favorite Lifesaver flavor?
Mine? My favorite Lifesaver flavor was the wintergreen.
Mine was peach.
Ooh, that sounds good.
No, I'd have to paraphrase the Rolling Stones. My favorite flavor would be cherry red. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That in terms of Lifesavers, yeah.
So mine was the butter rum.
That's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah, that's a good one too.
By the way,
I forgot to mention because we all weren't here when she read the book. You know, my wife referenced the winner for the Belmont Stakes. What she
heard that.
What she didn't mention was she had money on. She won money. She won money on that one, and she won money in the Preakness.
Oh wow!
She doesn't bet on the Kentucky Derby because they have 21 horses. But when they get down to 6 or 7 horses, she says it's easy.
Huh.
I love watching Secretariat on YouTube.
God,
that's some great.
I'm going to tell you something.
Big Red.
It's just unbelievable. 27 lengths.
Secretariat still has the track records at all 3 of those tracks.
Yes.
Northville. What do you call it? Churchill Downs, the Pimlico, and Belmont Park. Secretariat still has the records in each of those races for the time.
Well, it's funny. He ran again at the Kentucky Derby. He won, and Sham finished second. Am I right, Sham?
Yeah.
Yes.
Finished second, and in the Preakness, he won, and Sham finished second.
Right.
So everybody said, well, we don't know how this horse is going to do. And Belmont's the longest race.
Right.
And they said, we don't know how he's going to do in a long race. This could be the undoing of him. Sham, blah, blah, blah. Sham could have driven a car and not beaten him. 27 lengths.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Rich Strike finished like out of the 7 horses, I think 5th.
Right.
And they asked his owner, this is interesting. They asked his owner, what happened? And he said, I told everybody, I said, if he starts off the race in last place, we're dead. His key to his success in the limited, success he's had is he's got to break out front. He's not a come from behind horse.
Well, we weren't putting money on Rich Strike because Rich Strike was a last minute replacement for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, they did. He was a claiming horse. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a local horse. He was he ran. He would run races at the local tracks, but he was one of the better ones there. And so
he was like the Chuck Wepner of horses.
No, he actually won. I mean, as opposed to Chuck.
The Bayonne Bleeder.
No, he was the quarterback for the Rams when they won the first time here in St. Louis. When the Rams won in St. Louis, who was their quarterback? He went on to quarterback for the Cardinals too.
Oh yeah,
remember that kid? They found him he had retired.
He was
gone to a grocery store.
Oh yeah, Kurt
Warner.
What's that?
Kurt Warner.
Kurt
Warner.
Kurt Warner. Yeah. He's the Kurt Warner.
And by the way,
Warner. But anyway,
they had some goddamn trio of wide receivers on that team.
Horse had to travel for the first time, and I can see how they can mess up. You talk about the Rams?
Yeah.
Did we lose somebody?
And you remember the end of that? Do you remember the end of that game when the guy from Tennessee slammed the ball down at like a half a foot from the goal line.
Yep.
Man.
No, the worst ending for a game was Pete Carroll's call.
Yes.
For the Seahawks against New England.
Yes.
Couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, me neither.
All they had to do was
I'm not a Patriots fan, but you know, because I love when these guys who think they know everything. You've got a running back who could plow through molten steel. Okay, you're at the 2-yard line. What were you doing? Oh, I want to do something clever. You're an idiot. You're a fucking. That was the worst call.
I'll be remembered. I'll be remembered forever for this play. Well, that was true. He is remembered forever. He said he thought he'd be remembered forever for that play, and it's true. He is remembered.
Yeah, well, he was.
So, for the wrong reason.
You know, as a Lions fan, I've seen many.
I keep seeing this clip of Matthew Stafford when he was with the Lions and he's against the Cowboys.
Yes.
Have you seen this? Where he's like running up to the line as if he's going to. They get the ball. Calvin Johnson. This is when Calvin Johnson still played. He gets the ball down to the 1-yard line, right? And because it's in the middle of the field, they can mark it right there. They don't have to bring it in from the side and mark it on a hash or anything like that. So the ump is putting it down where it's going to be played. And they just have to wait for the other teams to get across. And so he's doing one of these, you know, where they wave. We're going to get lined up. We're going to spike it and stop the clock type of thing. He gets the ball and runs in. Have you ever seen that?
God bless him.
It was against the Cowboys. It was one of those plays where the Cowboys are like, "Oh, we thought he was going to spike it," but you know, you can make it look like you're going to. That's the whole thing about offense. You make it look like you're going to do something else than you're going to do.
When he was playing for the Rams, Matthew Stafford.
Right.
I'm watching the Super Bowl with a couple of people.
That was just in February.
That
was just this February.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I love this. Two guys are talking. One says to the other, You think he misses being in Detroit?" And the guy's wife says, "He's in the Super Bowl, Bob." Yeah. Oh, to be 4-12 and 10-degree weather.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they still run the Stafford ads for St. Joseph's Hospital because his 4 daughters were all born at St. Joe's in Pontiac. So
wow.
They still run the Stafford ads.
Yeah.
And they're back here quite a bit because they have a charity that they started that they're not going to abandon just because they play for.
Well, good for him. That's very nice to hear.
Yeah, he just was back here this spring opening up a baseball field that he paid for in the city, and his wife had something. It was like I can't remember what her contribution was, but you remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, but when they were here in Detroit, she had that brain tumor that had to be operated on.
Yeah.
And so, you know, their relationship with St. Joseph Hospital is probably going to be for a lifetime because they had their babies there. She had her brain operated on there. So.
You know, you said something I just thought was very funny. You said she had a brain tumor that had to be operated on. Well, yeah. Listen, you have a brain tumor, but, you know, fuck it. We're going to let it ride.
Yeah. I'm a football wife. I'm going to tough it out. You know?
Tumor schmoomer.
as she's drooling coming up to the line against the other football wives. I told you I could play with a tumor, and I'm going to keep playing. Damn it!
John Heyman had a joke. He says, "You know, I can't get laid. I'm sitting at a bar, and this really pretty girl comes up to me, and we start talking, and things are going well, and she gives me the once-over, and then she walks away. Maybe it's that age schmades button I'm wearing."
That reminds me of the joke of the guy in the corner. He's got 3 beautiful women at his table. They're all snuggling up to him. He's laughing. They're laughing. And there's a guy at the bar. He's new in town. He says, "The bartender, what's with the ogre in the corner there with all the beautiful chicks?" He goes, "Oh, that guy. I don't understand either. He comes in there every night, same booth, sits there. Got girls all around him. All he's doing is sitting there licking his eyebrows."
Or he's the kind of man knows how to make the horse cry.
No.
I think we've all heard about the man who can make the horse cry, right?
The man who can make the horse cry.
Yes. How'd you make that horse cry? I showed him.
When I was smoking pot, this guy starts rolling a joint and he goes, "Folks, this is the weed that killed Bert Lahr." And every time he did a different person. "Folks, this is the weed that killed Jack Larson." "Folks, this is the weed that killed Jack Oakey."
Jack Lord had to have been in there eventually.
Jack Lord. Jack Lord, there's an article about him and his wife that they were childless by choice.
Yes.
It was the choice of the child.
Oh, that's funny.
Thank you very much. I just made that up. That's great.
That's very funny.
Oh. Well, so
he was the grand marshal of the big parade in Hawaii every year.
Well, why wouldn't he be?
I want to tell you something. If you're on a hit TV show, and he was, okay, and it's in Hawaii, you've really got life by the balls. I mean, you just do.
I don't know. Guy Williams of Lost in Space, but more importantly, Zorro fame, having the whole nation of Brazil at his feet. He spent the last 20 years of his life down there in Rio. My understanding, he didn't even speak the language. It didn't stop it.
Really?
Yeah. Guy
Playing Don Diego de la Vega?
Yes. He'd show up in his Zorro, and he'd get 10,000 people or more. I mean,
where do they film? Where do they film Selleck's new show? Where do they film Blue Bloods? Is that in New York? I know
New York City.
Yeah. See, he went from Hawaii.
I've been on that show.
Yeah. Oh, have you?
Yeah. Zorro, the fox so cunning and free. Zorro, who makes the sign of the Z. Not that I know that song, but
it worked for him, man.
Yeah, who was the fat guy? He kept ripping his pants open with his sword and making a Z. Oh God! I always thought the guy was going to go, "Okay, that's enough."
It's the fat guy, both offensive and mildly erotic.
Yeah, exactly. This.
If you like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to admit to it, but I think we know the truth. I mean, it's like after a while, it's like you're not out here for the hunting, are you?
Oh God, that's one of the greatest jokes of all time. Oh my God!
You're not here for the hunting, are you?
You know who told that joke? And he made it go 9.5 minutes.
As it should.
Tommy Chong.
Yes. That is how that joke should be told that way. That's how my brother. My brother's not a professional.
Tommy Chong was going. So what happened was, see, like that. It was because he was stoned.
My brother.
The entire audience was stoned.
Right. My brother is not a professional comedian. But I love listening to him to tell jokes because he'll go off on a rabbit trail in the middle of the exposition of the joke. He goes, and then he'll go and tell a story about if he was telling that joke about you're not here for the hunt, and he goes, you know how you get a gun and it's not the right one, you got to go back, and then he'll add like 15 minutes to the story. All right, and then he gets back to it. All right, so he's out there.
You know the joke about the guy who goes hunting and there's a sign up that says shooting deer out of season is $8,000 fine and 3 months in jail. So he's walking along and he sees a stag, a gorgeous deer, just gorgeous. And he looks around, he goes, screw this. And he shoots the deer and he throws it over his shoulder and he's walking back to his Jeep. And here comes a forest ranger. He's like, oh, shit. And the forest ranger says, sir, what's that on your shoulder? He goes, well, that's my rifle. He goes, no, sir, the other shoulder. And he goes, ah, ah.
All right, guys, we've done it. We've done another 90 minutes together.
All right.
Making each other laugh uproariously. Okay. We'll meet again next Monday at 8 o'clock. But Jason, we got to get you out to the Unclub.
Mark, put me on the list. I'll be there this Sunday. Give me a slot.
All right, I'm giving you a slot.
I'm gonna go watch the Warriors and the Celtics now.
I think I'm going to do the same thing. No, it's 7 o'clock this Sunday, by the way. Anybody else who watches this, all four of you, we're at the Ale House in Ipsy at Pearl Street in Washington. Sunday night, this usually at 8. This Sunday, it's going to be at 7. So, all right. On behalf of Andy, Sam, Jason, I'm Mark Sweetman. See everybody next week at 8 o'clock right here.
Ciao for now.
Bye.
All right. Live long and prosper.